Autodesk for Vitality versus G2. I'm ready for an absolute banger. Definitely has the potential to be, especially after G2's explosive last week. But I imagine, Boss, you have to be feeling pretty good because I think G2, now that you're a caster, see G2 are trying to convert you to being biased by offering to pick Sion. But I can't help but feel like you are excited about the potential of a Sion pick.
My favorite team is sitting right there.
No, Boss, no, you can't. You can't call them your favorite team. You mean you?
But
say I, the Boss, love all teams equally.
Yeah,
that's the one.
I, the Boss, love every team.
Okay, we all do. We all certainly
Let's
do.
go
And it's
G2.
about time.
Let's go G2.
It's about time for picks and bans. Cagel, you're going to need to represent Vitality in this one. We'll have Boss represent G2, and we'll balance the entire cast out. But it is time for picks and bans. There you go.
Okay, yeah, we're about to get into draft. I think draft will play a big part in this game, especially when you look at the last time these two teams faced. I can hear Jankos through the soundproof headphones. He's shouting so loudly. Anyway, last time these two teams faced, Vitality got the better hand, you know? Mid-jungle especially, down towards the bot side of the map. It was all Vitality favored. And coming into the draft, we've seen a lot of different things. We haven't seen a Tahm Kench yet that's been reworked, but we've seen a reworked Lilia. We've seen a buffed Mundo, and we've seen a buffed Irelia. So a lot of these champions have been changing up on the most recent patch, which is to be understood because there was a lot of big changes. Threshban obviously targeting the Aphelios, and Lucian is such a powerful mid laner in this meta, especially with things like Diana.
Certainly has been incredibly strong. Tristana, Lucian, Thresh. Now the Viego is going to get banned away too. Remember, last time these teams played, they highlighted it already, but it was the massive Ryze pop-off performance from Leader. See if he can get another good mid lane matchup.
Yeah, I'm gonna be looking at the. You were talking about the Irelia buff. Well, Leader, best Irelia EU West, probably. Yep. There's one trick who can maybe be on the same level. Yep.
Yep.
But Leader is pretty known for his Irelia.
Definitely, and pairing that with an AP jungle would be really good. Akali obviously got nerfed this patch. She did get a little bit of tweaks to her damage, I believe, but I think the biggest hit on Akali was the E2. Now you can't cast Q while you're flipping in the air on the damage burst, so you can't burst him as hard. So I've heard from a couple of pro players, in mid laners especially, that Akali just feels a little bit clunky. So I'm not sure if we'll see that one come out just yet, but there's a Varus first pick for Vitality. Crown shot.
Do it.
Let's go for the Draven. Oh, they might go for the Kalista though. I think something lane oppressive would work for them, and that's going to get instantly locked in. We'll see if they counter pick support as well, because that makes the most sense on red side, and that's exactly what they're going to do. That leads him probably going towards the jungle.
Now seeing Kalista locked in for Rekkles. This was historically the least Rekkles champion of all time, right there next to Draven, actually. So excited to see what Rekkles' take on the Kalista does look like going up against Varus. These are two incredibly powerful early game bot laners.
I'm gonna be real, I've never seen Rekkles Kalista. I don't know where they're going with this. I personally don't like it, but maybe he's been practicing it.
Yeah, I think I saw him playing it a little bit in solo queue, and I think Rekkles has always said that he wants to expand this pool in a sense, because this narrative around him playing very few champions is kind of stuck, you know, comfort of Sivir Jhin, but something really aggressive now for G2. We'll see if they play around it, because resources are very necessary. And now that's going to be a Rumble jungle for Selfmade and a set flex for Labrov and Shigenda, which makes a lot of sense. I'm expecting it to go more towards the top lane, and G2 don't want to pick their support just here. You could go for Nautilus, but I think things like the counter pick on 4-5 could be a little bit more value.
LeBlanc caps, that's huge.
Caps LeBlanc.
He's crazy on the champion.
Certainly one of the people who can make a massive difference. Of course, blind picking in this matchup always a bit tenuous, but now he does have the luxury of banning away two potential champions or anything that could cause him a difficult time. But Cage, this is something we've talked about a lot. Lee Sin, LeBlanc together. I mean, solo queue or professional play. This is kind of a miserable duo to play against.
Yeah, Lee Sin LeBlanc always has, you know, really powerful setup in terms of ganks. 2v2 is very powerful, even after level 6. So when you have that mid-jungle priority, you want to use it to translate it into another lane. I think having a Kalista is a lane that you want to translate into. So a lot of aggression, early game aggression, especially coming out of G2 here. And like you said, Baus, Irelia banned away. Maybe Caps wants to look at Sylas ban, maybe perhaps to deny Leader some more champions.
Yeah, the Irelia ban. Smart move.
Yeah, and I think then G2 maybe looking to counterpick support on 5, you'd expect. Maybe the set's a little bit obvious that it's going towards the top side. Varus set into Kalista. Not sure how that one will go. We'll have to see.
It's Team Vitality. AP jungler, so Leader can get these melee AD champions, you know?
Yeah, and if we look at melee AD champions, not that many left. Unless he fancies himself something like a Zed. Irelia taken off the board. Imagine.
It would be a bold strategy. Certainly for now, Vitality have a lot of good building blocks for the composition, a lot of engaged tools, a lot of solid team fighting, the poke from Lethality Varus, if of course they can make it through a Kalista laning phase unscathed. Still remains to know what?
Sejuani top! Sejuani top!
Sejuani top?
It's solo queue, it's a solo queue thing.
Is it the Anathema's Chains Rush, Sejuani top with Ignite TP?
Yep.
I remember seeing that a few times.
I played against it.
Either that or Nelson, who I believe is on stage for the first time this week, has successfully beaten Jankos into submission. We'll find out as we get closer in the game.
Right,
yeah.
It could be a Lee Sin solo lane
yeah.
Sejuani jungle, but I doubt it. I highly doubt it. I think this is a Sejuani top support flex. And now I think G2 could last pick something like a Braum and just have that comp going. Doesn't scale too well, but I can see how the composition makes sense.
Yeah, there's the AD melee mid.
Yeah.
Iconic, I like that you have incredible synergy across the ultimates, across the engage tools. If all of Vitality get to push their R buttons, it certainly should look like an easily won team fight. That said, how is it going to work out against G2? We're going to learn a lot about this composition depending on what gets locked.
Yes.
This is a very personal message.
Hovering it for the Baus. But you're right, Baus. You said AD mid, melee mid, and there it is, Yone locked in. Now G2, where's that Sejuani going? Kalista Sejuani makes sense.
I think it might
but
be support.
Sejuani top also makes sense. I think maybe they're hovering tops here to bait you as well, Drakos. Gragas. Ooh. So I think it could be Kalista Gragas bot here.
Yep. Yep.
And they're playing Gragas for the Baus, which is one of your notorious champions as well.
Mickey is also notorious. He's probably one of the best on the server, except me, of course.
Okay, yeah, well, Mickey, fantastic. You're also a fantastic Gragas. I've seen your highlights. But I think also, just looking at the draft, I think Gragas makes sense into Alistar, right? It's one of the biggest counters to Alistar alongside Braum, because the second he combos in, you can just body slam him, cancels the pulverize, and then you can't actually get the engage. So if he stays next to Reckless, he can cancel every combo. And in essence, they should win out the 2v2, because he can also poke you down.
Certainly, and if Crownshot does get rolling as he has in previous games, if he is that lethality Varus that is very strong while he is a threat, the incredibly long-range engage of a Sejuani, of a Gragas with something like the flash body slam could make it hard for him to play out some of these team fights and sit back like we've seen so many of these lethality Varuses do before. That said, it is two incredibly explosive team comps. But Boss, I gotta know from you, you have to take one of these comps into solo queue. Which one are you taking?
Yeah, I mean, Wunder, he always brings out these unique picks. He's always the first one to take them out, you know. Sejuani top, I'm gonna be real. It's pretty bad in my opinion.
It's gonna backfire, you think?
I won lane versus Sejuani. If you lose lane to me, then the pick is terrible.
Well, you heard it first. I mean, Vitality's got a lot of team fights, and G2 have lanes to play around. They have LeBlanc, Lee Sin, and a Kalista lane to play around. So early game is the name of the game for G2, and team fights is the name of the game for Vitality.
Have to see how it unfolds. Landing advantages have been the end of so many of these games. We'll find out who can come out on top. It is time for Team Vitality versus G2 Esports.
And there it is, Sejuani top with Ignite TP Aftershock. And he's going to be rushing Anathema's Chains, I expect. Last Kalista game for Reckless was in the EULCS Summer 2017. Yep. That was 4 years ago. So he's been playing it a lot in solo queue, as far as I'm aware. I've been seeing his solo queue account, you know. He's also been streaming while playing it, but this is his first competitive game on it for 4 years.
Gragas support, there's two ways you can go. You can go Aftershock, you can go Phase Rush. Mickey opted into the Phase Rush here. More getting in and then running straight away when your spells are on cooldown.
I think that's because he's against the melee support, so he can just use his spells and then get out before Alistar can re-engage.
I think that's probably a good reason, K-Roll.
Makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense.
Ooh, I like the adaptation here coming in from Crownshot, though. Seeing kind of what would appear to be a very scrappy team from the enemy composition, has opted to go for the lethal tempo. We may see the first on-hit Varus in a long time. It's been almost exclusively lethality Varus for all of Summer Split.
That's interesting. I think maybe it's because they have Sejuani, Lee Sin, Gragas, 3 melee engages in a sense, and maybe he thinks he can't actually get onto LeBlanc, and Kalista will lifesteal through his poke. So going on hit.
If I have to be honest, I think no matter how good you are, hitting a Varus Q on a Kalista or a LeBlanc, the only two squishy members of the enemy team, does sound not easy.
Yeah, especially when they have mobility. Kalista will have the lifesteal, and LeBlanc always going to be really hard to hit. But like you said, Baus, Sejuani in lane not going to be the strongest. It makes a lot of sense.
Already, it's just...
It's really unlaneable, isn't it? Especially when you have no flash and the enemy jungle's pathing top and your jungler's pathing bot. So Wunder's definitely weak side for the rest of this game. Hang on a second. Shigenda trading aggressively.
Does it get better at level 2? I can't imagine that it does.
No, Sejuani's base damages are really low. She's not really built for 1v1s unless you're a jungler level 3 with a red buff perhaps. Then there's a chance that you can look for an all-in, but I think in just a pure lane phase, most melee champions, especially Zed, should win out on the trade. So Wunder's going to be weak side this game. He's going to be rushing Anathema's Chains, and he's going to be a pure frontliner. So falling down in CS is not the end of the world if his mid jungle can play and get this Kalista ahead.
Now, something that I do want to talk about, we'll hold that thought, as Leader gets a slightly positive train here against Caps. Very positive overall, even though he is getting pushed in for now. Caps, something changed about him in the last week.
What was it?
He shaved his head. Also, he played much better. Are those two things related? It's hotly debated, but...
Rhyme.
Bam, Rap God. Leader absolutely blasted him last time we saw this matchup. Ryze versus Gwen, it was not even close. Gwen looked like a very, much more balanced champion in that matchup than she has in a lot of others. And I'm wondering if Leader can kind of repeat the same success today.
Well, we'll have to see, because I think this mid matchup looks like he's getting the push early and he has TP if he needs it. But like we talked about, jungle playing towards bot. G2 are going to look for a dive here.
That's the body slam. Crownshot's going to be in trouble. It's all out on the dive, but Mickey's going to get traded back now. Reckless still alive. LeBron potentially going to be in trouble here. Sonic Wave, they're now moving down. Leader, I didn't even see what happened there in the picture-in-picture.
Where did Leader TP?
Yeah, what was that?
He didn't base. Did he try to TP bot? I think Leader tried to TP bot and he TP'd on the tier 2 mid by accident.
We're going to need to get a quick replay of that one.
But the worst part is he didn't even base either. So he must have been standing in lane.
Leader, what are you doing?
Okay, misplay there from Leader. Perhaps if he got the TP in, maybe he could have done something. But anyway, it's a 1-for-1 trade. Always going to be beneficial for G2 because you deny the wave from Crownshot. Selfmade has to be careful here because Gragas Sejuani, level 3, is quite strong. Force the flash. And he's going to get himself out of that one.
And gentlemen, I may not be one of the great detectives, Medi and Vedi, but I do possibly believe that we had an accidental mini-map click that may have led to the tier 2 teleportation situation.
Teleportation situation.
Here it is.
I'm not trying, I swear, just
So let's keep our eyes on Leader on the minimap. You can see he moved into the bush and then he starts channeling TP to tier 2. He must have misclicked on the minimap. Yeah, must have been a misclick. And then he quickly realized, wait a second, this is not bot lane. And thumbs up.
Oh, he knows he made an oopsie.
He made an oopsie indeed.
It's not what you want to see. The good news is, right now, at least it hasn't cost him too much. He is able to go back. He buys another Doran's item just to set himself up for lane. Sucks to not be able to recall with those items or to keep that TP. But for now, G2, bit of an advantage on the bottom side of the map. That said, Sajenda still smashing in the top lane, and Caps, with a Corrupting Potion and some boots, making it a lot harder for Leader to trade effectively.
Yeah, this matchup looks pretty rough now that Leader actually has to waste TP and had to buy a Doran's Blade on his first base.
That is unbelievable.
It's unlucky, yeah. That's really unfortunate. Must have been a mistake there, 100%. But Jankos, like we talked about, with the strong mid jungle in the early game, he's using Caps' push to help him get camp leads, get himself ahead and snowball this early game.
And Boss, this is a matchup that we frequently talk about. Two junglers who are very frequently fighting at the top of the table, but I'd love to get your take on Selfmade versus Jankos as someone who's played against these guys for years in solo queue.
Right. I actually have big respect for both of them, you know. As a streamer myself, they also stream. And I mean, Selfmade maybe not as much, but Jankos especially, he puts on hours of stream. And that's really respectable being a pro player and a streamer, you know.
Yeah.
I don't watch them personally. I prefer watching good players. But yeah, they seem to be doing fine.
You're just gonna roast them like that?
Did you? We can't. Okay, you're not allowed to do graphics anymore. We can't. You're not. You're banned.
They're our best junglers up there, alongside many others in the league.
Sure.
I respect the shamelessness. You were one Twitch link away from the most shameless self-promotion of all time, but I respect that you held back there, boss. For now, though, your predictions have been coming in solid. But I'd say that Jankos has been having a solid game. He is falling behind a bit. As solid is my word of the day. Selfmade pulling a bit ahead, but it's Sajenda who is still monstering here in the top lane matchup, and you can see it's hard for Wunder to do really anything at all.
Yeah, and you expect Jankos, just going back to your point there, to be behind, because he went for that bot dive and used his tempo there. While Selfmade was farming, did manage to take a few camps away, but you can see what Jankos is doing. Every time he clears a camp, he's hovering around mid, make sure Caps has the push, and then maybe bring Caps with him, or use Caps' push to get a little bit of vision.
Last knock up on Reckless, big damage now coming in. That's going to be the charge arrow coming, but Crownshot just barely hitting it on the edge there. Mickey, no real response, but Phase Rush proc, so he is able to just walk in and out of that one. Jankos, though, potentially ready for another dive on the bottom side.
Not sure if they have a wave to dive, though. Reckless is really low, but he will be able to sort of lifesteal up a little bit on the wave. He has potions as well that he just used, so getting a little bit more healthy. And Leader gonna fight Caps here.
Big damage from Caps. Back. Sadly for Leader, the matchup hasn't gotten too much better. Staying about even in CS, though. Jankos coming out of the brush. Lebrov Threatening with the stun here. Mickey very, very squishy. They're going to fire back. Reckless manages to grab that kill. Crown Shot now stepping forward. Self-made. Ulti not really where he wants it to go, but a flash from Crown Shot. That is confidence, and you've got to respect it.
They must have had the timer on Mickey's flash. If you look at it right now, it's a couple of seconds until it's up. Reckless had heal as well. I'm not sure if he was in range to use it. But anyway, it's going to be a 1-for-1. Well played by Crown Shot, but also well played by Reckless to snipe out Labrov. So this bot side is... Ooh, it's lining up a bit.
Very, very close.
We haven't seen much from the mid lane so far. We've only seen like pressure and jungle invades, but they have not been a part of any kills so far.
Well, this is often what we call the caster curse, because we talked so much about it and we had a graphic. We immediately doom it to not be the focal point of the game. We didn't have a Reckless graphic ready or a Crown Shot graphic ready, so naturally they're going to immediately pop off. This isn't, you'll get used to this as you cast more. You just, whatever you want to talk about.
The opposite will always happen.
Exactly.
That's just how it is. That's how the caster curse works.
Okay, I think G2 is going to lose.
Boss,
Okay,
no.
Boss, you can't bias.
You can't keep doing
Okay.
that.
You just keep sneaking
It's like every other word. It's like sometimes I'm like, wow, that's the smartest thing you said. And sometimes it's like, wow, it's like, take your child to work day. Like, how would you not know more bias?
Crown Shot face checking Mickey though.
This is going to be difficult. Mickey going to be able to walk right out. That's the power of that phase rush.
Crown Shot has ult.
Ulti.
Reckless has ult. Nothing can happen here.
Okay.
Good call, boss.
Completely right. Yeah, Reckless could always ult out Mickey if Crown Shot tossed out the ultimate. And now the mid jungle again of G2 moving to side lanes. It's not going to be the Kalista lane this time around, but it's going to be up towards the top lane. Wunder was struggling in the early stages in this lane, but he's denying a massive wave, like you said.
Jankos, they layer the CC perfectly, but he goes back, and now he's going to get the big go. Knocked back on the Haymaker, buys a bit more time. Stun goes in, an easy follow-up, but Leader now going to find the knockup. Now going to get the go, going to pull him back under tower, into the equalizer, goes right back out. That's the Power Rangers finish, baby. Self-made. Not going to be able to grab anything else, but respectable exchange. Gold dead even at 10 minutes into the game.
Yeah, that was a really good play there from Vitality's mid jungle to be able to get to that play in time despite being behind in tempo. They managed to get there just about to get Wunder, traded for a 1-for-1 and collect most of the wave. You can see Selfmade's level 8, Jankos level 6. That just goes to show how much time Jankos is spending on the map to help Caps push, to help him move around sides. He might get caught here though.
Self-made,
Ooh, nice change.
Change going to land. Easy kick follow-up.
Yep.
Shigenza, though, in the area, can go for the pullback here. Haymaker's going to be massive, but Caps just leaps out to safety and sets natural enemy. The wall has stopped all fighting. Leader waiting over the wall, though.
Leader has flash.
Leap forward, has the W as well. Third stack on the Q could allow him to finish this, but he does get chained up.
Does the E kill him?
Caps.
Oh! Shigenda has flash as well. He could flash E here. Oh, W flash.
Ooh, W flash is definitely looking clean. Haymaker coming up. That's red buff proc. He's
gonna die to red buff.
That's a double. But now a fight on the bottom side. Instantly, Crown Shot now getting aggressive. The knockup coming in, but Reckless is going to go down before anything else can happen. Mickey, the last man standing, but he's going to need to phase rush his butt out of there if he wants to survive this one.
He's going to flash on Crown.
He has flash. He has E as well.
Will he go for the aggressive play?
Wow. The last 30 seconds, we just saw 3 members of G2 fall, and Vitality winning out in top, winning out in bot. 2v2 kill for Vitality, despite Jankos spending so much time down towards his bot side. And now Vitality, all of a sudden, 2,000 gold up.
Yeah, the Sigenda, is that his name?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
That was clean. That was insane.
That was really well played.
He ends up getting 2 kills from that.
So we did see the top fight in live action, but as you can see it on the meme map happening, Labrov sidesteps the body slam from Mickey. Does he Q flash Reckless? Oh, Mickey misses Q flash onto Reckless and gets the stun knockback. Wow, Labrov played that so well. With the E first to make sure he Q flashes, hits him with the stun and then knocks him back. Wow.
Mickey trolling a little bit.
Yeah, it's a difficult game. You miss all, I mean, if you miss all your skill shots, it's kind of hard to win the exchange. And now bot lane slightly favoring to Crown Shot, but both players still working towards their first items. Looks like we're going to have some shield bows coming in.
Look again, G2 mid-jungle back towards his bot side, trying to move around side lanes like they need to do in this early game. Maybe they can get Crown Shot. He has flash coming up soon, but I think he's just dead to tower. Dead here.
Chain's going to connect again. Easy follow-up. So much damage here in the early game. Leader on the way. He's already used Soul Form. Has to now back away.
At least Leader TP'd bot this time, but this time he won't be able to get anything forward. There's too many members of G2, and nothing will come of it. We'll see if G2 can get some plates in bot side. Reckless is pushing in. There's no neutral objectives up just yet, but there is actually, as I say, that Dragon's up. First Dragon is still up. No one's taken it, but G2 not even bothered about it just now. Jankos still 2 levels down, but he's using his pressure on the map to get his team ahead.
Gold very close. of course, interesting game. Normally Vitality, they either come out swinging or they immediately start to fall behind. Very, very big differences between their wins and their losses as we see Dragon getting taken down, a potential tower dive set up on top, although looks like Selfmade will walk away. You can see here the stark contrast, minus 3K in a loss, plus 4.3K at 15. So hugely swingy team. That said, in this game, here in the LEC, it's dead even coming into mid-game. Very uncharacteristic of Vitality.
It's pretty much dead even. Normally Vitality are explosive, you know, they're really far ahead, really far behind in the early game, and that can either come from plays backfiring or just really good proactive plays, especially to the mid-jungle of Vitality. If you ever talk about Vitality, it's always mid-jungle. They're the ones kind of looking for plays, making them around the map, but this game it's different. Vitality bot lane getting a 2v2 kill, Shigenda managing to pull off the 2v1, really flawless mechanics, and now Vitality and G2, it's neck and neck. G2 have the Dragon, but Vitality have Herald. 1 minute left on the plates. Where will they use it?
Yeah, Wunder has been looking for this recall for a while now, for like 4 waves, where he can recall and not waste his TP. Now we got the chains, right? So I do believe he can hold his own on top lane.
It's going to be...
That's a huge item.
Yeah, big difference. Looks like he's already marked out his Nemesis. Most likely going to be the set still at this stage of the game, but crashing in there does mean now we're finally seeing Vitality pull ahead when it comes to gold. And overall, I think when we talk about this game, obviously Leader and Selfmade had that pretty sweet ultimate combo on the top side, but it feels like Labrov and Szygenda, often the not the players that we highlight or look at, have been the ones really popping off in this matchup.
Oh yeah, definitely, especially in mechanics itself. And just like you said, Wunder managed to base, he got that item, he didn't lose any plates for it, and he was looking for that base for quite a long time. I wonder if he does put it on Szygenda though, because Szygenda can obviously get the true damage out of the W, so the Anathemas won't do too much against that. Perhaps he wants to target Leader on the Yone. We'll have to keep wait and see, but Crownshot is going on hit Varus. He has the shield bow. Caps has found Selfmade, so is Mickey.
Selfmade moving in. Oh, there's just no room for him to maneuver.
Yeah.
Mickey just shows up, Caps lands the chains, and it's easy for G2.
Selfmade is flaming Leader right now. That's a mid gap, straight up.
It's a mid-gap straight up. Yeah, Caps managed to walk in, finds him with the chain. Mickey's there, really, really good setup. And G2 might find Crownshot here. They're looking for Mickey. Mickey has flash. Use the...
Oh, Mickey! Clean mechanics making up for earlier, but Crownshot gonna flash out to safety. Immortal shield bow by coming in clutch as Leader. Now potentially gonna be in the trouble. That's the kick coming back. Leader, no room to maneuver, but he has the ultimate, which means he can dash out to safety with the Q3. Now leaping over the wall with the form unbound. Now trying to step back, walking away, but he has to come back at some point. A few more seconds, he goes in. Jankos finishes the job. Caps still waiting over the wall, and G2, just like that, fire back in this game.
Unreal mechanics from Mickey. Not only to get the engage first off in the bot side jungle, but flash E-ing over the wall to land onto Leader.
Oh,
clean knockup from Labrov. Caps goes back right into the hands of Selfmade. Ooh.
Oh, he gives the kill over to
grab it.
Oh, really smart play from Caps there to just teleport back to give the kill over to Labrov. That hurts. That was a shutdown. It could have gone over to Selfmade. Lots of fighting in this early game. 14 kills, 15 minutes in, but Reckless has just been farming up on bot lane, and he does manage to pick up the first tower of the game.
And that's why Mickey's Gragas is feared. It's his pocket pick. He played that super well. First the ulti to get crown shot, and then the flash body slam.
Yeah.
Amazing stuff.
Over the wall onto Leader. And first of all, the ulti as well, and into the double body slam, right? To see the bot lane of Vitality. So great mechanics from all players in this game, it feels like, in every single skirmish.
And we've seen, yeah, just so many tight technical exchanges here. We look back on this specific instance, clean knockup coming in from Labrov. Crownshot a little bit faster on that ulti.
Caps flashed.
Yeah, he did.
What are you doing, Caps?
Caps tries to flash away, but have to give props to Labrov with the reaction time. Queuing the second. Caps jumps over the wall. This game still neck and neck. G2 have that Dragon, and the gold lead is about even. Szygenda did manage to make those plays top, but he has been a bit quiet. I would like to see him join fights more.
Certainly going to be pressure on him to outperform in team fights. Sejuani obviously very easy for her to impact just with the E alone, especially when you have a Gragas and a Lee Sin alongside you. But of course this game, very tense and very important. While G2 obviously historic fan favorites, these teams are neck and neck in the standings. If G2 win here, they'll be tied at 4th with the Mad Lions. Vitality losing will knock them down, keeping them in 6th, or 5th, well actually, oh yeah, 6th, tied with Astralis. Difficult place to be.
And crazy to think that if Vitality actually win this game, they're tied with G2. Week 6, day 1, they're tied with G2 in win rate in the regular season. But it is neck and neck on the standings, it's neck and neck in the game. Dragon spawning in 40 seconds, and Herald won't be up for a little bit, but I think these are the two neutral objectives both teams will want to contest depending on where the push is. Wunder obviously playing weak side still on this top side, has the TP to join a team, whereas Caps can push in bot. So G2 have a lot of bot side control. Maybe they want to transition towards the top side because mid tier 1 is still up. Mid tier 1, the most important tower in the game. Whoever can crack that open should get a lot of map control.
Yanko stepping in here, G2 collapsing now.
No one really has a big lead, so K-Roll, who do you think outscales here?
Outscale, ooh, good question. I think Vitality probably have slightly better scaling when it comes to the late game. I mean, Yone scales quite well, you know, on-hit Varus scales Infinity as well, it feels like. Kalista, Gragas, LeBlanc, Lee Sin, these are all early game champions paired with just a frontliner. So I would say in a vacuum, 6 items, Vitality probably would come out on top, but G2 have a lot of playmaking. They have kicks, you know, they have the Kalista, Gragas, they have Sejuani, so catching someone out could take all of that away. So it all comes down to player, but in a vacuum, I'd say Vitality.
I think it's going to be a team fight on Dragon here.
Definitely might be. Labrov getting chunked out already.
Leader walking down. A lot of cooldowns. Again, just going to TP right into the pit. He's going to grab some Dragon aggro here in a moment. No way for him to get back over the wall unless he's willing to burn Flash. Vitality have committed to this fight really before even G2 tried to. Zygenda out. Mickey going to walk away. Stridebacker going to pull Mickey back. He's going to be in trouble. Ulti should come out in a moment from Rekkles. He's trying to hold on to it as long as he can, but it's actually Zygenda who's now going to be in trouble. Kicked over the wall. Big haymaker, the Flash back over the wall. Zygenda still alive. Mickey taken down. Leader on the backside, doing good damage to Caps, but that's the shutdown. Now we have the 4v4 on our hands. Support for top laner taken out, though. Overall positive trade for G2, especially with Caps on the back line. Raining hell down onto Crown Shot, but he's still getting burned. Lee Sin able to grab that one. Leader now trying to make it out to safety, but G2, they're just too clean in these fights. They refuse to get knocked down.
Yeah, they win out on the 4v4, and Jankos steals the Dragon away from Selfmade. So not only do they get the Dragon, but they win the fight. Really good mechanical execution coming out from G2, and it looked shaky at the start when Mickey got instantly taken out. I was running while Rekkles didn't use the ult. He was holding it for so long. So massive props to Zygenda to go for that play, but then you have to question Rekkles, why don't you use ult, but still makes up for it, takes down Zygenda, they win the 4v4.
It's so clean to watch, so many excellent mechanical moments here, boss. Hard to pinpoint on it, but ultimately Yanko stealing away the Dragon feels like the biggest moment.
Yeah, and it's huge as well, because it's an Ocean Soul and not a Cloud Soul, right? So the Soul is also pretty big. So this Dragon was huge.
Oh yeah, definitely, and it felt like Vitality, as soon as the Dragon died, they all kind of split up, and the call was probably just run. Everyone get out, and then G2 can just chase you down and pick you off one by one, isolated in the pit. And obviously, if you're running away, G2 have very, very good gap close on their champions to keep up to you. So, Dragon picked up, 3 minutes, 50 seconds on the next Dragon, so he won't see a soul to around 26, 27 minutes in the game. And
Caps
G2
really low on gold, actually.
Overall, 2-2 and 4, you can see he's actually falling behind in CS a little bit, maybe because he was roaming so much or caught out at inconvenient times, but as much as Caps is struggling, Rekkles is thriving, kind of building success from what he saw last week. Really explosive performance from him in the previous week. Of course, it's 1 week, and it's G2's best week, so you could say, you know, cherry-picked a little bit in terms of the stats overall, but now that he's also 3-1-2 on a champion that he has not played since 2017, I would say things are looking up for Rekkles.
Yeah, definitely, especially when it comes to, you know, if they win this game and Rekkles continues on this path, then confidence can play a big part. You know, if confidence was the issue when it came to Rekkles kind of picking champions that he preferred or didn't really feel comfortable on, then being able to pull out a Kalista, you know, and have a great performance, play through bot, get yourself ahead, and be one of the carries, then, well, next time it comes playing Kalista, maybe you have more confidence to go for it. So, great step forwards. And Rekkles playing fantastically last week, of course. You can see it in the stats, you can see it in the gameplay, you can see it in the lane phase and the team fight. So, see if he keeps it up for this game. He's 2 items down on the Kalista, building towards that Rage Blade, and he's moving towards mid. So G2 want to group up and contest division around Baron. Mickey makes a big mistake.
They get caught out now. Flash over the wall, but it is going to cost him Flash, but it's Crown Shot actually who's getting caught out. Quick Q comes out with the Sonic Wave, will not connect. They're now looking to turn and burn. The kick back from Jankos buys a bit more space from Wunder, but it's just too easy for them to follow up. Crown Shot going to grab that kill onto Wunder. Vitality making good on the punish.
Yeah, the second Wunder Q's in and hits the ultimate. He has no escape, so yeah, Crown Shot flashes away, but then Vitality collapse. Wunder has no escape, ends up falling. So Mickey has to flash, Crown Shot has to flash, but Wunder gets taken down. G2 still having pressure in mid. Maybe they have to be a little bit more careful here, because Vitality have the numbers advantage. But Zygenda has no TP, so Caps can move up whenever he wants.
Caps waiting in the darkness always feels like a big threat while he is, you know, 2-2 and 4. He is a bit behind in CS. He's still a LeBlanc, still can do a lot of damage to his isolated targets. And obviously Caps getting enough respect that it looks like he is going to force Crown Shot into Wits End second. Now, Hans Sama is the only other on-hit Varus that we've had this entire season, but feels like a big sign of respect to not go for another crit item, not go for something like a Rage Blade or anything else here. Hold that thought is now Mickey going forward. Selfmade actually going to be the one who gets caught out. He has no chance to use the ultimate, and now Leader going to get knocked away here. Dash out with the ultimate. is going to make sure that he makes it to safety. But G2, excellent team for taking and contesting the Baron if they get the space to do so.
Yeah, that's a massive pick. They should start this up. I think Caps can base and TP if he needs to get the mana up, but it looks like he's just going to run there instead. Wunder needs to make sure he's in the pit to tank it, and they should have a lot of damage with the Sejuani E and with Lee Sin around. Mickey's just trying to spot them out. There's no smite for Vitality, and more importantly, they don't have Leader's ultimate on the Yone, so if they want to contest this, it's 4v5 at an ultimate disadvantage. And they have the Kalista secure it. Shigenda might just have to find an angle and go for it.
Fishing for a good angle from Szygenda, trying to find a way to throw someone else into the pit. Caps on the backside. Crownshot going to be in trouble. Has a bit of MR and has the heal coming out as well, but I don't think it's... Ooh, it might just be enough. Buys a bit more space. Leader in the pit. Leader, is he going to be able to make it back? No. Wunder manages to grab the kill, and that should be Baron taken down by G2. Massive advantage to the team.
Oh, Labrobe! No way.
Next flash over the wall.
That's the ultimate, but I think that's pretty much it.
Step.
No flash.
Knock up. No phase rush for him. He's done. It's a long, slow goodbye, but Cap's going to grab the kill.
Yeah, and G2 got Baron as well. 30 seconds on Ocean. They're going to base and run towards that Ocean Dragon. And when you watch that Baron fight, Cap zones away Crownshot, and Jankos is the hero we need, it seems, for G2, because he kicked away Szygenda on the W. If that W landed, I think G2 would have really struggled in that fight, so massive, massive props to Jankos. So let's keep our eye on Caps initially, because he goes away onto Crownshot and zones him. But then let's watch Jankos the second Crownshot's out the fight. Yeah, exactly like Bao said. Watch Jankos' kick. The second the set wants to use W onto Reckless after the stun, instantly kicked out. Massive problem.
That would have been 800-900 true damage on Reckless.
He would have died.
Game changer.
He would have died, yeah. And then G2 just chase it down from there. Labrov, no flash. Tries to get out, but ends up falling. So now G2, lots of kills. Should be able to pick up this dragon as well. Jankos moving towards it. Caps pushing in top. He needs to be careful. He's playing the side lane with TP.
Was Wunder win the 1v1 now?
Stepping forward. Hard for Szygenda to get much done here. Wunder is just incredibly tanky. The passive just now falling off on top of the Anathema's chains here. Mickey now going to try to find the knockback. It's well played, but the ultimate from Crownshot stops any potential follow-up.
Unlucky there. Mickey tried to knock him into himself, but the wall just about blocked it. Little edge of the wall. Now Cap should take this mid tower. The map's falling apart here for Vitality. The only pushing lane they have is top. Maybe they can get a top tier one, but Labrov's going to have to use ult.
Locked up, holding on for now. No ultimate available, so just barely able to make it out of that one.
Another weird leader TP.
TP'd in.
This guy.
Very committed. Trying to find the fight, trying to find the angle. It's a similar story for Szygenda, but he does just get locked up and taken down. Reckless now on a rampage. 5-1-3.
Self-made needs to be careful. And I can see what you mean there, Baus. Maybe Leader could have looked for top tier one because Labrov had already flashed away, so he ended up TPing just to kind of watch his team fall apart, and he's going to have to give up this mid tier 2 anyway because Szygenda's down. Maybe if Leader didn't TP there, he could have got a top tier 1, but still, the situation would be same. Just a slight gold lead, or gold, you know, comeback for G2, you know, for Vitality. Sorry, what word was I looking for there? But anyway, this mid tier 2 is going to fall, and G2 only one tier 2 left, and that's in top lane. Cap's already going there to push the wave in.
And just minutes ago, before this Baron, it was only about a 1.5k, maybe 2k gold lead for G2, but a massive explosion of gold as they not only are starting to break down all these tier 2 towers and the massive gold that those bring on the latest patches, but also taking the major objectives. Now looking at a potential Ocean Soul in 4 minutes. It's going to be an incredibly difficult game for the side of Vitality, and I think while I do love the on-hit Varus, one of the downsides is you gotta stand in range to auto-attack. You don't have all that extra range that the luxury of Lethality Varus brings for you, so gonna be difficult for Crownshot in these team fights, especially when Caps is only getting stronger, only getting scarier, and yes, that's a wit's end, but Lightning Jewel Death Cap, I would say, feels a little bit stronger.
Yeah, one combo and Crownshot will get taken down. Also has no QSS, so Wunder hitting ult on him, he's also dead, so he has to be really careful in these fights.
I mean, it's Caps LeBlanc. I told you, he's so good on this pick. I've never seen him do bad on LeBlanc.
In solo queue?
Everywhere, really.
Yeah, Caps.
I mean, Caps in solo queue
is a different story.
Yeah.
I've heard the legends.
Let's not talk about that one.
Yeah, Caps in solo queue, not the same as Caps on stage,
no
but speak of the devil, Caps able to find the solo queue. Leader fishing for something here, is going to pull back Unstoppable on the back end of that E animation, and Szygenda standing forward, trying to body block. Reckless now in the midst of the entire team. Mickey has been thrown in. The knockback on the Crownshot is clean. The mechanics are clean, but the suplex is better. Szygenda pulling back. They buy themselves a bit more space, but it's only 3 members standing under this tower. G2 have already picked up 2, and they're looking for a few more. Szygenda, the lone frontliner in the area. W not nearly big enough. Haymaker not getting anything done, and G2 are going to look to break the base.
Yeah, Vitality have no point in click CC to deal with Caps. He can dash in and dash out as much as he wants. He's so fed, he can one-shot basically anyone apart from Szygenda, who walks up. And Mickey, the engage was great. He forced both summoners out of the Varus, out of Crown Shot. He ended up dying, but it was a 1-for-1 anyway, so he was just trying to buy time regardless of the engage. And you can see Caps, there's no point in click CC. He can just dash in and dash out. He can dodge away from anything. Reckless.
Pulling back. Haymaker
It's a chain here.
out.
Caps can kill Labrov. Has the minions to block.
Distortion.
There's the fear in Vitality right now. When you have Caps only Blanc, gonna have 3 items now, level 16. Like the fear, I can just imagine it, you know.
Yeah, it's scary when he dashes forwards. You know you're pretty much dead if he lands a full
I mean,
combo.
it's the horror movie situation, right? You don't know who's getting taken out first, but someone's going down. In this case, it was Selfmade.
He drew the short sword.
Selfmade, why did you go check the barn outside, you know? What are you doing?
Well, I think the follow-up from this was Mickey.
Yeah.
Mickey's engage
look
here
at
was
this.
excellent. I think the instant flash E onto Crown Shot with the knockback forced out both his summoners. And while all that's happening, I know it looks like Mickey's dying here, but so is Leader. Mid lane for support and forcing out the enemy AD carry some, so the next fight will be even better for G2. And I think there's an Ocean Dragon spawning soon. That'll be Ocean Soul Caps. Ooh, if he hit that chain, maybe he could have taken down Selfmade, who has no stopwatch.
Like you said, the Varus flash down for next dragon, and that is soul point.
Yeah. Oh, Caps,
Selfmade
not again. He's
Caught
gonna
out the
die.
chain, gonna connect. They're gonna try to lock him up. The suplex
He's
comes
gone.
up, but he just goes right back. Distortion. Oh, what an ability.
Wunder tried to queue over there, but he got blocked, so he didn't go over the wall. And G2 have a bot wave to work with. 50 seconds on the Dragon, and Dragons and G2, they should definitely pay for it, but they're going to try to poke for more.
Caps, got out.
Good damage again, looking for the shutdown. Caps still over the wall. The ulti now coming in, but it's going to get body blocked. Still Leader to the backside. He just wants to finish the kill, but Caps is still standing. Caps is still alive. Reckless, though, will get taken down. That's the stun coming in. Reckless still alive. Reckless resurrecting now. Can they just get the kill on anybody? Vitality, they just want to find a kill. They'll get the shutdown in the Reckless. That's the 2-man knocker for Leader. That's the double kill coming in for Crown Shot. And G2 now on the run. Flash forward, the pull back on the Facebreaker. Caps waiting in the darkness, but they spot him out with the Trinket. It's a triple kill for Crown Shot, and Vitality are fighting back.
Caps has TP, Wunder's alive, but it's 5 members of Vitality strong, and this Ocean Dragon spawning in 10 seconds. That means Vitality should be able to deny the soul. Yes, they're still down so much gold, but they've stopped this Dragon win condition of G2 because they get greedy, they overextend, they try to get more kills. And they didn't just take the objective that was free to them after getting that initial pick onto Selfmade. Wunder's going to try to TP out here, Labrov. He's going to stop him. Now Leader's on the way too.
The Fish gonna grab the knockup. Ulti coming down. Wunder very, very tanky, but eventually they should be able to burn through him. No one else on G2 is here, but manages to finish off Labrov. Not a bad way to end that exchange for G2.
Yeah, but that was an 800 goal shutdown. Wunder. That was unnecessary.
Huge shutdown indeed, and Crown Shot got a lot of the kills as well. So let's look at that again, because Dragon's spawning in 30 seconds, but Caps fancies himself more. Selfmade's dead. This Dragon's 100% free, but it's here where Shigenda lands the stun from one minion that followed him through that choke. And then even though Caps lives, well played by Leader to try and EQ flash to try and finish him off, Caps is out of the fight. So it's a 4v4 anyway, and Reckless is the one who's caught. Yeah, Reckless gets caught, gets knocked into the tower, and even though he has GA, can't move. And Shigenda's W here, watch it. Watch the damage from Shigenda. Instantly kills Reckless. Massive wombo coming out.
This is part of the reason why when we talked earlier, the potential for Vitality to outscale the sheer amount of AoE CC present on this team is staggering. Triple kill for Crown Shot. So much money to his back pocket. Immediate Rage Blade alongside a stopwatch, but it's Shigenda. 5.4K. And yes, that is 0 for Selfmade.
0 for Selfmade.
He did not get to play in that one. He didn't get to play in the last fight either. I feel for Selfmade. He is clearly priority number 1 for Caps.
But I will say, 5k plus damage, you never really see that from anyone barring a mid lane or a bot lane or maybe a Diana jungle or something, but it looks like we're trying to get a replay here.
PV set.
We're going to get a replay here of
Well, I'm holding that thought.
something. But anyway, right now we're in the live. Baron is up. Dragon's on up for 3 minutes. And now all of a sudden Crown Shot is sitting on 3 items and a stopwatch, and he has his summoners back. So G2 needs to be very careful. We talked about the scaling. And Vitality's front to back is always going to be stronger because Shigenda can buy a lot of time. He has TP as well to deal with inhibitor creep. So now all of a sudden Vitality, despite being almost 6,000 gold down, it feels like they can start to contest.
On hit Varus, a Rumble alongside a Yone certainly could shred through the objective. And again, stakes are high. These two teams are neck and neck. It's the difference of G2 moving up to 4th or Vitality tying here for 5th. Leader stepping forward, good initial pick. He's going to have to pull back here in a second. Mickey standing in the backside. Phase Rush has been activated. Labrov forced to use the ultimate. Oh, continuing. Labrov still there. Equalizer is clean. Crown Shot laying down some decent damage, but he's not in range to auto attack. The rest of the team now running. Labrov low. He has no ultimate available. Leader in the backside trying to do everything he can. Zagenda, massive haymaker, but Caps on a rampage. Caps though burning down. His Selfmade tries to get a bit of revenge, but it's not quite enough. Caps still alive. The flash forward. The auto, the shutdown. It's an absolute bloodbath. It's a back and forth, but for now, it is G2 an advantage. Crown Shot full health, but is he powerful enough to win this fight? On hit Varus, can he get the damage down? Big damage coming in for Crown Shot, but it's not enough. The CC is there. Mickey is there. Jankos is there. G2 is here, and G2 will take the fight.
Yeah, it looks like Crown Shot's gonna die. They have a wave to end mid. That fight looked really, really confusing from Vitality. Labrov goes in, backs out. Leader goes in, backs out. Selfmade's 1v1 in Caps, and Crown Shot can't hit anyone, so it all falls apart for Vitality. The front to back is strong, but everyone's split up, and G2 just collapsed on them. They managed to win the fight, and they're all just dead. They're gonna be able to end the game. That is gonna be game, I believe. Labrov's up.
Labrov, be a hero.
15 seconds still on Leader.
Knocked back.
G2.
No ultimate, no aftershock.
Leader in 10, Selfmade in 9. They have ultimates to try to buy time.
One last tower. Reckless the only one that really matters. If he can hit it, him and Jankos, they just need to shred through this. They need to keep their focus. They split. Leader coming in, but he doesn't have an ultimate. Wonder, well-timed ult. There's nothing there. That's going to do it. Wonder, there's no way. There's no way they can hold on to this objective. They get cut down. G2 going to grab the game. G2 tying Mad Lions at 4th.
Surprising though, it felt like Vitality could start to contest it. They could start to win fights. They had the items on the right carries. But I think they were just way too split up around that entrance on the red buff. Trying to contest Baron Vision. One person wants to engage, one person didn't. G2 punish. So massive props to G2. But they did drop the ball a little bit there in bot lane. I think everyone started to wonder if it was winnable for Vitality, and perhaps it was, but 1 minute later, G2 win the fight.
Glass G to throw, but they end up getting the win anyways. Congrats to them.
Yeah, Caps now 3-0 with the haircut.
Yes, the most important stat, I would say, Reckless's first Kalista game in a long time did look pretty good. 1 or 2 small hiccups. He did end up in some odd places in 1 or 2 of the team fights, but otherwise, an incredible scoreline. Vitality, neck and neck in the early game. Lost out on 1 or 2 big fights, fell behind, tried to find a way back in, and while Crown Shot and the team had some heroic moments, it was still G2 who took the day. Kia player of the game at LEC on Twitter is the place. Jankos, Caps, or Mickey X.
I think Jankos had a great game. I think Jankos was, to me, the biggest carry of this game. Stealing dragons, making plays happen, using his laners to move around the map. His team fights were phenomenal. Massive props to Jankos.
I would say Caps 100%. You maybe didn't see it, but Crown Shot couldn't team fight. He had to stay so far back just because Caps' presence was there.
Yeah. Caps' presence versus Jankos. Let us know who comes out on top. Or Mickey X, because we're soon going to hear from Reckless with Lore before a special guest joins us in the LEC post-game lobby. Don't go anywhere. Hint, it's Kadril. Kadril is our special guest.
I'm the guest? Wait, who's the other guest then?
I don't know.
Wait, is that the... I'm
Kadril?
Maybe the boss is the other guest? Mystery guest?
Systems are overloading. We can't risk another game.
We need to take a break and regroup.
We're starting to lose our mind. Captain, we cannot go back to Elo Hell. Last time it took us months to get out of it.
Initiate break protocol.
Hurry up!
Yes! Yes! I did it! We did it! We did it!
Even the biggest champ needs a break.
Welcome back to the LEC stage. G2 take down Vitality in an intense game, and Reckless, thank you so much for joining me. I'm glad because last week in PGL you were talking about your champion pool and different champions. You played Kalista today. The last time Medic said it on Twitter was July 22nd, 2017 versus Yoel. So yeah, a while ago. How was it playing this champion again?
It was quite nerve-wracking because I knew regardless everyone would judge me. So yeah, I was quite just maybe even too aware of what I was doing, and sometimes I felt like that locked my play in a way.
Okay.
But I think my team really smurfed it, so it didn't really matter in the end. I was just a little bit sad that I couldn't have a better game, because I think actually I'm pretty good Kalista, but I'm a bit sad I couldn't have a better first game where I knew everyone would watch and judge me. So maybe tomorrow we'll see. But I think I'm pretty good Kalista, so I'm happy that it's once again a champion we play, because I actually think back in like 2015 when I played it the most, I would say.
Yeah.
It was one of my better champs, so I want to use it more.
How come you stopped playing the champion actually? Because we know that we have some Kalista masters in the LEC, we know that. So how come you dropped the champion?
So I think Kalista wasn't really meta for a long time, and then the few times she had some stints in certain matchups, or some players just played her anyways, I just didn't play her, and then that kind of became my thing of me not being able to play Kalista, which I think can't be true, because anyone that watched back in 2015 knew or knows that I can play this champion just fine. So again, it was kind of just like a demon to slay for me a little bit, and I wish I had a better game, but in the end, it doesn't really matter because we won, and now once again, everyone will have to fear it in some way or the other. So it's a good step in the right direction, I would say, for G2 Reckless.
And a new tool in the box. Actually, I have a question about this, because I'm wondering, do you have some phases as a player? Like at some point you're going to like playing some champions and then you're just going to drop them? Like phases, in a way.
I think for sure, but it's not necessarily that I want to play Kalista, let's say, in 2015, and now I don't. It's just I have my more favorite champions in general. So, for example, I'm always going to love playing Tristana, Sivir, Vayne, if I can. Maybe some Saya, some Twitch. Those are like my, I think, best champions. And Kalista is not one of them. But I'm still willing to play whatever we need me to play to win. And that's why I'm gonna try to get really good at Draven. That's my next goal. Just get like really good at Draven.
Wow.
So tying into what I said earlier, this whole G2 Reckless thing has been for me a good setting to just improve on everything. So today was a good step, for example. Learning to play Draven would be another good step. Just improve on all the things that I notoriously have been known for, I guess, not being able to do, so that no one can ever say that guy can't do X or Y, but instead everyone is just going to be able to say that guy plays everything, plays really well on everything. That's what I want to be.
And that's what the best player should be, actually. Draven Reckless, I'm excited, actually. Looking forward to seeing this one on stage maybe soon. I'm wondering if it's also confidence in the fact that you won games recently that maybe pushed you to try some new things?
No, actually, we had the Kalista prepared basically since I think we had the Kalista prepared the entire season, actually. It's just never been, in my eyes, at least a good matchup to pick it. I think, I shouldn't speak too much. I think today was a good matchup for me to play it in.
Okay.
And even if I played poorly, I still had like a good stance in the game because of the matchup I played and because of them trying to dive me when I have shield bow and stuff. So I think today was like the perfect setting to pick it. But it's been something we played pretty much the entire season. So I don't think it's necessarily as simple as we're losing, so I just want to play what I want to play, and we're winning, I want to play everything. It's more like, regardless, I want to play everything, but maybe when we're losing, we try to get more comfort so that we can get some confidence somewhere, because when you're losing a lot, it can also be hard to find something that you really want to play because you're losing in everything. So then maybe picking a more favorite champion, like for me, Tristana is one of those. And not picking like Kalista in that scenario is better. But I think in the end, I have to be able to play everything, like I said. So just have to do these kind of games. And I'm happy that we finally did it, I guess.
Yeah. And about all this, how are you guys feeling right now with the games you've been winning? I saw that Nelson arrived also. Did it change anything?
Yeah, for sure. Having Nelson here is good for us. I think if Duff could also make it here, that'd be great. Then we're a full team for the first time this season, which would be, for me at least, that's coming in and never worked with Duff, for example, in person, never worked with Nelson in person, like just a positive addition to the team, because I think I need as much help as possible. I think we need as much help as possible to become the best version of ourselves, so we can challenge Europe again, we can go to Worlds, challenge Worlds as well. So I just want everyone to be here and for us to try hard together. I think we have like all the chance in the world to do this. But I also think at the same time, I don't know, these games have been like really tough for us because everyone expects magic every time we go on stage. And sometimes it's hard to deliver magic when you're always delivering magic, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like sometimes a game like this maybe doesn't feel that great because we're G2, we should be doing better. But the games have been tough. We're playing against good teams. Like we need every win we can get. So I think also to some extent we need to be patient with ourselves, give ourselves some, understanding that we can't just like 20-0 every game in 25 minutes. We actually have to play the game properly. So I think also some patience here is good. Just give everyone, like all the boys, some time to get everything together and make sure we're in like good shape for playoffs and hopefully Worlds as well.
Yeah, and there were some expectations with this roster actually, and it feels like you're finally getting there. New challenge against Fnatic tomorrow. We'll see how this one goes. A quick words about the matchup, maybe?
Probably the best team in Europe right now, so it's a mountain to climb for sure. But I think we're slowly getting there as well with what we want to do. I know they are really confident in what they're doing. Like it seems every game they play, they're so much on the same page in terms of what they're playing, how they're playing. It's just actually quite amazing to see, I think.
Yeah.
So we're still not quite there, but I think we're on the right path and we are sort of getting there as well. So maybe we can have a good showing tomorrow. I think that's more important anyways than like winning tomorrow. Of course, we want to win. That would be great. I'd love to win tomorrow, but I think it's more important we have a good showing rather than we win. So we take it from there. A win would be a bonus.
All right, well, win will be a bonus. We'll see about that tomorrow. Reckless, thank you so much for the interview, as always. And we're going to take a break now. And we'll be back in a couple minutes for post-game lobby with Shox and Leader. Stay tuned.